the Houston Rodeo's thotting is causing this problem. Now, I've seen a couple clips of what's going on in Houston, and I kid you not, the amount of people that were waiting on a line, it looks like it would equal up to like a mile long. No exaggeration at all. And there's a thotting problem. The last time I reacted to freaking Houston, it was an STI pandemic going on in Houston where people were just giving all these different cases of different things that they caught in Houston. So it seems as if they're wilding out over there. I've just been fortunate enough for that. Thank God that he's just giving me the power. I've abstained from sex for like months now, you know, and then, you know, you can see it in the face. Your boy's glowing, your boy looking good. And that's what it does. It's definitely not an easy thing to do. I can tell you that much, but it was really just, I know I needed a change for real. I for sure needed a change. And God has allowed me to do that. I talk more about God, my relationship, and the goals that I have in my second channel. The link below is Noah's Ark. The community over there is dope. But without further ado, let's get into this problem that's going on in Houston.
Conversation with one of my clients, and she said she took her kids to the rodeo, and her 10-year-old son just his eyes was just about to pop out his head.
10.
Since 1931, there has been a big event in Texas, and it's called the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. It was founded as the Houston Fat Stock Show, but later it would pretty much be known simply as the Houston Rodeo Show. And last year in 2025, they...
Hold up. Hello?
Hey, this is Jay from Central.
had, get this, 2.7 million people show up. Woo! Houston is big, and so is the state of Texas. So people are coming from all across the state, all across the region, and some people may feel all across the country, all across the world. And there are different groups.
But I have been hearing that spring break is being hosted in Houston rather than Miami this year, for the most part.
People, remember, Houston is not all black. But for the purposes of my channel, we're worried about what the Negroes are doing down in Houston.
Damn!
So that led me to investigate how y'all was out there dressing. And of course, knowing y'all, like I know y'all do, y'all was gonna be out there doing the most. I know it because you're black.
He's right, you know.
But to be honest, it was some very, very well nice dressed people. I gotta be honest. Y'all know I'm a terrible dresser, so any tips you can give me, email me at planetoshay@gmail.com. But for the most part, I saw some really nice looking ladies. I saw the brothers had the cowboy hats on, the cowboy boots. I saw y'all out there doing the little country dances and shit like that. I mean, look, excellent job. For you, bravo. Thank you for representing the community and the culture so we look like we had some sense. Unfortunately, though, we gotta talk about the other part. Those of you who went out there thotting it up.
Got him!
Bruh.
And for the last few years, there has been some concern.
The Houston Rodeo is famous for a lot of things, but especially the fashion some attendees pull out. In recent years, some say the choices they've seen on the fairgrounds have gone way too damn far.
Now, you know it's bad when they got to go onto the news and talk about how y'all are dressing. That's
But
how
look,
you know
I'm not gonna lie.
it's
I
crazy.
know for
But
sure
wait,
there was a heck of a lot of good looking women over there for sure. But like realistically, who's really wifey though? You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm just at the point where it's just like, yeah, you could look good, but are you wifey? Most likely not. Most likely not.
There's more.
Guys, what is it looking like out there at the rodeo? Monique, come on now.
It is rough. I literally just went on Friday night. I had my 4-year-old with me, and I'm not joking. I saw a woman with chaps on and just a thong. That's
With
insane.
the ass out?
Yes.
Undergarments.
Under
or
chaps.
undergarments.
That's undergarments, yeah.
Yeah,
And
not
I'm like
outer
trying to
garments.
like steer my baby away from the sheets that are right at her eye level.
This is the same lady saying the same thing. That
Cheeks at his eye
she's
level.
afraid to even let her child see what's going on. Now, this is important to know. Whenever I heard about people who were not dressed well or modest enough for the occasion, I never heard anybody complain about men or black men in particular. But who did I hear them complaining about?
Baby, I just had a conversation with one of my clients, and she said she took her kids to the rodeo, and her 10-year-old son just, his eyes was just about to pop out his head. She said it was coochie and ass hanging out everywhere. Cheeks hanging out everywhere. In the front and in the back. Camel toes hanging out everywhere. Titties hanging out everywhere.
All right, but it comes to a point though, like the parent has to take accountability for that. You know, take him out of that environment. You're the one that put him in that environment. You know what I'm saying? The way Houston is going, if there's any major gathering, best believe that's what's gonna happen. Because I'm starting to realize the reason why women dress like this is because that's where they place their value. They realize they feed off the attention that they get, and if they realize, look, this is what gets attention, then I love it, and that's why they end up doing it. But it's an automatic giveaway as that's where they put their value. It's not within their mind, heart, or nothing like that. It's just straight booties and, you know what I'm saying, and tatas. It's just the way the world is.
Damn, she said cheeks, tickle bitties everywhere. I mean, stop the show. I should have went. It just seems like my kind of event. But seriously, now think about this, right? Like, it's not only the young children that are out there with their family and they're seeing women dressed inappropriately, but then you also have the elderly, which brings up the next point.
Or at least if you want to wear your coochie cutters and your Daisy Dukes and your coochies and your titties out, at least go at night. Y'all are up here with the elderly people at 10 o'clock in the morning with your coochies and your booties hanging out. Come on now.
So the issue with her is, okay, listen, if you want to dress as women provocatively, you have a good opportunity to do that in the night. But y'all don't want to do that. Y'all coming during the daytime where some of the older people, you know, they don't want to be out at night. They come during the day. And then you're disrespecting the people, and I would say it because she's black, the people in our community by dressing inappropriately. Okay, some women got husbands and all that other stuff. And even if they do got husbands, it doesn't mean that they don't want to see you out there looking like you're out there selling your cat, right? This is a problem. But this is the video that went viral.
It took the Houston Rodeo.
Let me tell y'all this. In the beginning of February, I went to Colombia for my birthday. In Colombia, I kid you not, the women over there are beautiful. And there's this place in Colombia where you can go during the night. It's like a park. But in that park, I kid you not, like 50 plus women, and I'm talking good looking too. Like there's not the type that it's like, oh, like they look like hookers or prostitutes. It doesn't look like that, but they really are though. They're out there selling themselves. You go up to one of them, you'll ask them like, oh, like what you doing out here? They'll be like working, like straight up. They're working the streets all over, and they dress the same exact way that these girls out here in America dress. Or I should put it this way. The Americans are dressing the same way that the prostitutes in Colombia are dressing. And they don't even realize.
For y'all to see that our women dress scantily clad. It took the rodeo to see that our women embrace whore culture. They do.
100%.
As a single man looking into the market, you don't just see it at the rodeo. It's on dating sites, the internet, all over social media, their profiles, Hey, when you see that over the shoulder look, that over the, what is that pose? You know what I'm talking about when they turned around and showing their ass? Why that pose?
If they turned around, I'm gonna be honest. If they're turned around, you're not meant for me. It's simple. If you on the gram turned around, it's not meant for me. Especially if you got the emphasis on the cheeks. You're meant for the streets. Or the gram. One or the other. Look it. I still love women though. You know what I'm saying? But just I have my preferred type.
Woo! Again, I saw very many videos of this event, women dressed up for the event. And yes, were there some women dressed provocatively that I can see? Of course. But I saw some women, dressed very sexy, boots, nice skirts.
You know what I'm saying? Beautiful black woman.
Covered, wasn't showing. I mean, just dress good. You know how the sisters gonna do. They're gonna look good. They're gonna come on point, okay? That was a lot of them. Not gonna lie. This whole idea of some of the ladies coming in looking like 304s, yes, I did see that. And I gotta talk about that because a lot of the women who may have been there and are dressing like that when you're going out in public, you are definitely allowed to do what you want. Don't get me wrong. You're an adult. It's your outfit. It's your body.
Facts.
But the problem with this is that like the young man said, and he's not a man that's just speaking by himself. It's a lot of men that secretly feel like him, which is you're a young man, you would like to get married possibly, or you would like to be with somebody possibly, and then you're seeing an enormous amount of women who are dressing sexually provocatively and at the same time want to get into serious relationships with men where a man will marry them. Okay?
Yeah. See that's the delusion. You feel what I'm saying? Look, it goes something like this. Broad is the way that leads to destruction, but narrow is the gate that leads to life. You feel me? It goes something like that. Can't be out here dressing all promiscuous and then wanting a man to take you seriously. You know? You can't be out here dressing all promiscuous and then wanting a man to want your heart. It just doesn't work like that.
And he's trying to explain
there will be an awakening though. There will be an awakening.
This is not the issue. Here is also the problem with a lot of men that come and see these women. We all know that trying to shame these women for how they dress or even try to tell them that they shouldn't dress like this, the feedback is not going to be nice. Black men are in no position in today's age to instruct or tell these women what they should do. And I'm not trying to say that black men are not worthy of that. We're just in no real position because they're not going to receive it well. All right. So the women who are going out looking like this, dressing provocatively, cheeks hanging out, I mean, this is what you get. You're going to attract the wrong kind of people to you, and then nobody's going to take you seriously. But also, 100%. Here's another part.
And if you think it's a problem for them to walk around your kids like that, they at home walking around their kids like that in panties and bras. Yes, they are. They're walking around their kids like that. No shame.
So he says it's already bad enough that they're going out,
that's true,
walking in front of other people's kids.
The craziest thing is that a lot of these girls are moms too. You know?
But the most important thing that you got to understand is they're walking around their own kids like that. Woo! And let's talk about the ecosystem that is being created here. When women dress provocatively outside, inside of their home, they're doing the same thing. So what it does, it creates this ecosystem of, number one, kids growing up in there, women, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. Nobody can tell me anything. I can be just like my mom was, no matter how functional or dysfunctional that is. And then this person, let's say, for example, a female or daughter, is going to grow up being very incompatible for what men want. The young man was saying in the article that yes, it's okay to be sexy, it's okay to be beautiful, but a man is looking for a woman who is modest in apparel. This is not to say that, you know, you can't wear half-cut shorts or things that may show cleavage. And for some women that have tattoos, it's a big deal in the States. But hey, a lot of brothers can go along with that. But a lady that respects herself in the public, a woman that respects herself forces a black man to respect you. And to be honest, a man wants to be with a woman that he can respect, all right? And if you're a modest woman to a certain degree, it means that even if you do have it, that's not all that you bring to the...
You know what's even finer? You know what's even like, ooh, when a woman is so fine and she's just like so comfortable not receiving attention from everyone. Like, she don't need the attention from everyone. You get what I'm saying? Like, she'd rather attention from a quality person. When you dressing cheeks out and all the extra stuff, you just want attention from everyone. But when there's a woman that's so secure and confident enough that she doesn't even want attention from everyone, that's the one.
Table, because you bring dignity as a woman, you bring value to the relationship as a woman, you bring a lot of cognitive and intellectual ability to the relationship, you bring your woman's touch to the relationship, you bring your way to love, how to make a man feel better. And all of those traits that you have as a woman or as a black woman, it supersedes the sexual transactional nature of how some of the women are dressing. And it's very true that you might be able to dress like that. It may not be promiscuous, and all of those things could still be true. But it's very far and few between. Now people are going and complaining about this dressing, and then what happens is it hurts black women as a whole, because that's who they're going to blame. You know, the black women came out and they were doing this back in the day. If you're from Sacramento, you all remember the legendary California State Fair. And then it was the infamous Black Family Night.
Now look it, not going to put all the blame over here on the black woman. Definitely not going to do that. This video is more so focused on that because that's the way they were dressing. But at the same time, the men do feed into it. There's not enough men that don't, you know what I'm saying, that don't like that for real. Or that really don't feed into it, or that shun it. Because if that actually existed, I do believe that women would stop. But just the culture that we have when it comes to rappers, the music and all of that, even the women rappers, that's what it promotes. You know, and that's what normalizes it within society today.
But you would see a whole bunch of stuff, people dress whatever kind of ways, and then until they just stopped offering Black Family Night in Sacramento in general, because ultimately it was too many problems. However, if you are a lady and you want to be modest in your apparel, you can still pull the right kind of men because you're being modest. When you're not being modest, you're not going to get the right kind of men. You're going to get the right kind of clapping for those cheeks. That's what you're going to get. And again, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, but I will think.
Sad part is you might not even get the right clapper either. You might just end up just catching the body and then going on to the next, and it wasn't even that. And it never really is, like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the times, it's just not worth it. You know, I feel like it can get addicting, you know, doing that. But at the same time, it's just an endless black hole.
I think that you should look at certain things. Number one, I understand that every woman has, let me say, a temperature for what appropriate is, or inappropriate, which is what appropriate isn't. But then again, calibrate your strategy for a person that you're going to be with. If you want to deal with guys who are successful, who have money, you're going to have to probably need to change some things. All right? It's the truth. So guys, what do you think you should boy?
No. A guy that's successful, has money, and will actually be loyal or faithful in a relationship, or actually be emotionally available, then things will need to be changed. If you just want a guy that has money and just, one night, continue that way. But to have a man that believes in God, is honest, trustworthy, reliable, confident, can provide, protect, all of these things, and will be loyal, come on. You already know that's a high standard in itself. And that standard will need to be met. But I believe that standard can be met with God, with just truly seeking God, because God transforms hearts, lives, bodies, all of it. And that's what I talk about on Noah's Ark. God is really the way to true success and true love. So definitely go check out Noah's Ark. First link in the description. I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Peace.